Looking at the View Park, the Sculpted Forest Park. It looks pretty dry. It's hard to see it this dry. I didn't see it last year, of course. I wasn't here. I just was just arriving back here. That's right. And the year before that, I was almost all of it busy being injured. So it's actually done a lot in 2 years. I've missed the dry seasons, I guess. It's growing in super amazingly well. It's astounding how well it's doing. The main thing I've done here is top the trees. And what's interesting is that then they just put up more branches right out of the top to go up higher. And so I think topping the trees is actually going to become a regular thing. And we can do that with great care and understanding. And I think also, instead of topping the trees, one option is to, like retopping them, is to hang weights on branches. I believe weights on branches would be brilliant. We can change them out. We can get good at changing them. We can try not to fall down when we do it. I have a ladder. And there'll be more and more branches to use to get up to other branches anyway. But I think maybe we should put weights on a ton of branches, because if you really think about it, horizontal branches are worth more to us as tree sculptors than branches that go up at a 45-degree angle. A bunch of these are going up at a 80-degree angle, so pretty high angles. And so the more we can encourage horizontal growth, the better. And the best way to do that is to force it. I think we have to find a way to force horizontal growth on lots of these oaks here. And we may or may not know which branches we want, but I think it's time to start deciding. I'll give you an example of this one over here, which I would guess, see both these actually, like this one right here. This is a branch that naturally is there, not too bad an angle. We could make it go like that. We could stake it to the ground. I have some branches I say that would make great stakes. Or we could just weight it. I don't care how we do it, but I want this thing to grow at this angle. Now I may want to change its direction as well, and that's another whole topic. You know, like should I just tie it to that tree over there? That's a possibility, but I want it horizontal either way. So we could twist its direction and its height. This one here, this is it's an odd height, but we could also make that one flat. And who knows, maybe the lower one is a bench and the other one fits into some kind of a table thing. I don't know. We can sculpt these into whatever we want. But it's a massive attitude change to realize that, you know, these are sculpting materials and that our creativity is not just a good idea, but it's actually required if we're going to have this forest be super amazing and fit human needs as well as supporting a lot of biodiversity. So that's a trick. Tree sculpting is what it is. So we now have our beginning materials, and those will change over time. I don't expect that every tree that's in here will live. I don't want them to. We also have a lot of other trees that we want to incorporate, other species we want to put in that are exotic looking or cool. The banana I have put in over here, I did not do well with the cold. The leaves turned black and fell off. It did not kill the plant, but that banana did not like the, very exposed spot up here. You've got your biggest wind right here, and I've also got a big clear area. So it's some plants love it, and the banana, we'll see what happens. I guess that's all for the moment on this garden. I guess the point is that it's so dry that it's a little shocking, and we cut a bunch of crap in there that was in the way. So it just looks a little bit more kind of naked than I want it to be. But that's okay. Every year it'll grow bigger. Look at all these baby pines in here, and we got nopales and tons of oaks and capulines and tejocote and what else? And then a couple special things I've got. But all the native, the acacia, that takes over real quick. We cut the hell out of that. And the reason was because we know it's coming back anyway. We could just get a bunch of poles out of it, It makes good poles. So it just grows poles for us. They're not very straight. which is too bad. I guess the next big move on this guy is trails. It is. And that's a tough one. Those are decisions that get made that affect everything. Like this is almost like an entryway already. And actually, yeah, I should do a little bit more cedars around here as a hedge, I think, to have control over this space. Maybe not. I'm not sure. It's almost like a building could be right here. You know, an entryway building. It doesn't have to be much. It could be like on the scale of Oregon Country Fair. On the other hand, if I'm going to build something, I like to build it well. So, who knows? I mean, should I put a whole Carpinteria type comfort station right here? Seems a bit extreme, and then have a entry off the back of it. That's a pretty big building for this spot. I don't want it here. I don't want it. I don't like it. But you can imagine an entry arch, and this may not be the main entry. So this is just one potential, right? And I've had my eye on it for a while. I don't know how much I can really walk through here. But it seems a lot easier now that we cleaned it up. I want the rest of it cleaned up too. At least the trails. Actually, I guess that's all that really matters. But in any case, somebody's got to walk through here. So, this is the cedar circle over there. So I was imagining the trail would come out of there. And that's really what I'm seeing as the entry. Any building over there could actually serve both sides if there was a small entryway or building. So I don't like where this trail's going already. It's going too much to one side. I would rather it be over there. So I want to go right down the middle and then make really cool alcoves. Basically, if you look at the book called Pattern Language, named Pattern Language, you'll see lots of design thoughts that actually I really love. Yeah, this is the trail I want right here. This is great. This is beautiful. It comes very straight right in here. It's not a very curvy trail because curvy trails use up more space. And I have other plans for stuff around here. What the hell is that thing? Weird. Yeah, this is great. This is the trail. So I'll have my friends help me clean this up so it's walkable. Oh, here's a grafting over here that needs attention. Jesus, this one needs tons of attention. It's probably dead. God damn it. Look at that. What's going on with it? Okay. Actually, you know what? This is not a problem. In fact, this is a massive success. Holy shit, I almost ruined it. That's why nobody should touch plants around here. Unless they're qualified. You will fuck shit up. Don't do it. Knock it off. This is really great. This looks like it's tejocote grafted on tejocote. That's really cool because the tejocotes you buy in the market are better than the ones that grow here. And so what we can do is graft better tejocote onto existing tejocote to get the tejocote we want quicker. I don't know where they sell the trees of that anyway. Growing them from seed is more of a crapshoot, but this way we get the exact genetic material of what is believed to be the best fruits. I don't even remember where I got these cuttings at. Anyway, the reason I almost scraped it off there was because it's a hawthorn being grafted on a hawthorn. That's tejocote. Sorry. And so it will definitely take. In fact, it's doing extremely well. This is going way faster than any other grafting we did this year. And so that's actually pretty exciting. We're going to have more higher quality fruits. It's a fruit thing. It's a yellow fruit. And then you make ponche with it and do other stuff with it. It's an okay fruit, you know, hawthorn fruit. Let's take a look at this guy here. This has stuff coming out of the graftings, and then it has stuff coming out on the stalk, and it almost looks the same. This may be a case where we grafted a capoline that we like onto a capoline that we don't. And I requested that specifically because that's an experiment that if it works, it's the fastest way to get way tons more of the tree that we like the best currently. In other words, we've got one tree that fruits. Most of them don't even fruit at all. It's so annoying. And so we've got one tree that fruits really well. And so grafting that onto as many other ones as possible, it looks like it's working, right? Now, in this case, I believe, and I want to check with my friends before I fuck with it, right? And I didn't trust me. All this stuff on the bottom looks like it's the original capulin, and we don't want that. So I kind of want to pull that stuff off. I'm going to pull a couple of them off so I can see this better. And the rest of it looks like it's doing really well on one of the graftings, and the other one looks completely dead. So you see that? This one in here looks dead. See, there's no leaves on it. And so we could just rip that out of there, but I'll just leave it there. I suppose it should be ripped out because of disease issues and rotting plant matter next to good plant matter. I don't know. This side, this other side's doing just gangbusters great. It is shooting out stuff all over the place and is wonderful. So that will be a successful experiment, I believe. One interesting question I would have is, if you have male and female trees, which I suspect you do with black cherry, which is capulin, that's the one we're talking about, black cherry. Does it matter the gender that you graft onto what gender? Because like a lot of the capulins I want to graft onto are male ones, but the ones that I am grafting onto it are female ones because that's the one that has the fruit. So do I limit myself to, I mean, I don't know if there's any incompatibility. You know, gender matters in some cases, not others. Should I then only graft onto females that don't produce as good a fruit? So in other words, only graft onto fruiting trees, but if you have a better fruit to graft onto it, graft that on. A couple other graftings to check on here. These are not doing anything. That could be a total failure and they could be dead. Does not matter. We plant trees, we make trees, and the more we make, the less it matters. This is doing really good. Look at this guy. That appears to be another case of hawthorn on hawthorn grafting. At least the dead one, it appears to be dead, is a hawthorn. That's odd, because the other one did so dang well. Grafting is a little bit of a crapshoot, you know. You don't know what you're going to get, but you just do it a bunch. I think it's really worth it. It's mature trees laying around that you get a good tree faster. Grafting is the fastest way, the cheapest way to get a whole bunch of excellent trees is to use native trees that you have that already are there or want to be there really well, like they just seed themselves and stuff. You have an infinite number of them. And instead, you can turn those exact same native trees into something that produces something that humans like better, and unfortunately, something that animals like better too. I say unfortunate because, then they eat all that stuff you grow. I got a serious squirrel problem. Like, I don't want to kill the squirrels. I really don't. I never finished a damn trail. Let's go back down there. So I came out to what was the volleyball court. This is it. A lot of pine branches right now. Those are free if you want them. Just come by with your chainsaw and your pickup and an appointment. You definitely need an appointment. Right, okay, the trail's over there. I got distracted by the graftings, I guess. Look, there's some cool rocks here. Rock stacking is a great activity for this area. That's a fun thing to do for the people who feel like doing it. And I have the really good rocks for it that have different styles of rock. So, look at this. This is all acacia seeds right there. Most of these, it looks like, have already fallen on the ground. Yeah, they've already opened up and fallen on the ground. So now they're down there. If we wanted to collect them, we should have collected them before. I didn't bother because, as you can note, there's like about 50 billion of them right there. Where the trees are full of them. Years ago, where's this trail go? Years ago, I did plant acacias. I grabbed seeds of them from one tree that was here because it didn't seem like it was in very many spots, and I moved it to a couple others. They haven't taken off in most spots. They're very spot specific, it seems like. I I would be willing to grow them other places. Mainly, I see them as a pioneer tree and not super useful. And so I would suggest that we do it in places that we terrace and expose earth, that we want to regenerate the soil there from a rocky place. And I think a generation or two of those wouldn't hurt anything. You know, plant those, plant whatever you want. Anything that'll grow at first. It's just churn that soil up. Get the lupins in there working for you. Lupins, you know, they like to live in tough spots and they send down a big taproot. So anywhere that we do landscape with a bulldozer, for example, or people, like 1,000 people with a bunch of wheelbarrows. We could then, if that soil is scheduled to be rehabilitated, we could do it much faster if we toss the right plants in there and just get as much variety as possible and see what works, you know, and then do more of whatever worked before. I kind of already know what to put in places. Okay, so where's my fucking trail? I'm very close to that. I don't like that. That may be a building later. I think the trail would go, well, this is kind of in the way of the trail. Well, it goes around this thing somehow. I don't know how it does it. I don't care. Almost the other end. So there's a lot less in here because there was more acacias and we cut them all down. So that also gives us more planting opportunities without cutting anything else down. So the truth is we've got spots for a couple hundred trees in here still. And that may seem weird because it seems pretty dense, you know, so that may seem odd to you, but it isn't. That's because we're going to be restricting these trees' growths, you know, so they're not going to grow to full size. There's already too many trees in here. I mean, if we just let this all grow, someone would die. It's the way the forest goes. I guess it may seem a little odd that I'm topping the trees the way I am when they're just going to grow up again anyway. Well, there's a couple issues. One is if we do sign on for continuing to top them for some time, for years, then the lateral branches will grow much thicker and become more useful for other things. Ideally, every tree in there would be really easy to climb. Ideally, every tree in there would be easy to put a couple beams and a piece of non-obnoxious roofing if there wasn't shade. But of course, we talked about better shade than that that could be developed. So that on the one side there's that volleyball court, and I want to build a building there. That's going to kind of screw up the aesthetics of this cool park, but it's the best spot to put it, so I got to do it. There is more park down this way, and I've got a diagonal road here, and I'm thinking as far as reducing the total amount of road, that I might have the gate connect to this road over there and then go in. In other words, this becomes a pedestrian path. Or they can go down that way towards the lodge, but probably I should start thinking about, you know, I'm imagining traffic. There's no traffic here right now, but almost none. And just, yeah, guiding it, because I like this still being part of the park a little bit, and so it could end up still being a walking path. I think that's great, but I'd rather not have a car path right here, I think. Because I want there to be entries on both sides of this, and I also want to block off with hedges and things, or whatever, however I'm going to do it, entry to that side of the park, and have this be its own similar park. So I guess I am breaking them apart. I just feel like the identity of this park is different, and it's just different space, you know, and I think its use could be different. I don't know. It's also got really nice trees. It's got some nice tall pines. So I think what we'll do is clean it up a little bit, figure out what it is, and then I got tons of other work to do anyway, design work. But I guess that's kind of a decision about this park, is that I guess I'm going to divide up off that spot, make this be pedestrian, because this is a high traffic place. It's a very useful road, but I believe cars can be more accepted to go further, even though I don't want them to spend a lot of time going very far. But directing cars where I want them to go and where I don't want them to go is probably a good idea. At the moment, it's not tricky because I don't have any visitors or unexpected ever. And I would like that to continue, actually. But I have no, person in a gatehouse or something. But right now what I'd do, and I thought about this because I just gave someone directions on how to get here. And I think I actually have to, this is a bright idea, from the colored gate right there, right? There's tons of colors on it. I need signs as soon as you go through it. I need clear signs on what you're supposed to do now. And the primary thing that they're supposed to do now is check in at the office. And the office is right over there. And I think I should put up signs and arrows that say that. That'd be really smart. And then if this is going to be pedestrian only later, it would be nice to keep it as a road as well. Like, it would be nice to have temporary blockages. I'm not sure how I would want to do those. I have one idea that might be pretty good, and that is signs in a 5-gallon bucket, which are then covered on the sides with cob. They're not even buried, they're just covered on the sides with cob. And then the cost of moving them is really just cob. And I have some steel metal poles and figure out how to attach a wooden sign to that that's painted. I need signs in places, especially at this spot where, it's an entryway. I just recently moved the lock from the far north gate to here, and now I can actually go open the lock. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. There's nothing on the other side of the barranca, mostly to protect. If somebody wanted to come get some branches, there's some and they can take them. I don't care. Right in here at this gate, this is already set up as a perfect parking spot. It needs to be cleaned up and made into parking immediately. Why? Because it's right next to the damn gate. It's perfect parking spot. And just, angle in or something. Probably clear this stuff around here so people can actually turn around right here. I know that sounds bad. Like giving any footprint to cars, I'm suspicious of and I don't like. I want cars to have as little footprint as possible. I do not like them. I mean, I realize they're cool in many ways, but as far as a societal element, I'm not a fan. So I think, clearing all these crap out of here, there's like a big pottery thing over there. To make a turnaround's probably wise. And that may be wise over there as well. If you take a right at the gate, it may be wise to keep a turnaround spot there as well. And I think that's wise. The trees are growing up around it, so that'll all work out. This is that spot that goes down that I don't like, that I would want dirt over here. It's kind of far away from the other spot, but I want to raise all that up, and that's to control water and where it goes. The road down from the colored gate should have gutters on it, gullies, that take all the water and make it go off to zigzag, and it'll end up being in the barranca. Because currently a lot of water flows down this. It would not flow down it if we raise this up. So we can make this a little steeper to come into for a bit, but raise this up like a meter over there or something, all the way over there. So that's many truckloads of dirt to make a raised road. And the road will stay pretty good because cars will go on it and compact it, and it will make water go into the soil and not run down slope, and not run down this road into the barranca like a river, because when it rains here, it rains. I don't know where I would put that new road to get over there. I think I'd put it right here, actually, right at the edge of what I said was going to be parking here. Just I would say run it through right there. It could be over here. That's fine. And actually, it matters what's on the other side of it. There's a road that goes off to Cosmic and Truth. It might be useful to hook up with that road to go that intersection there. I'm not a big fan of four-way intersections. I prefer three-way intersections. And that's not a, very strongly held belief, but I think three-way intersections are slightly better. On the other hand, if you're using footprint to make sure there's a turning radius on stuff, then a four-way is going to use up less total footprint than two three-ways, because that's your choice. In almost any case where you're going to do a three-way, you could be a four-way, but maybe you're not able to do it in that spot. Geez, I should carry water when I'm walking around out here. I'm just now getting in a groove of like taking care of my comfort more. Yeah, raising this up would be awesome. Clearing this out a little bit. I need a gatehouse somewhere, and I'm imagining it to be on the north side of the colored gate. We could actually dig into that slope, which we should do anyway, to make more space. We can dig in as far as we want. This whole slope can be widened. This road can be widened. It'd be amazing if we got space for two cars to pass. We do not currently have that, and that is a design flaw or design benefit. But I want to dig that whole slope out with a bulldozer, make it all as high as it is down the Bronca now. Then I want to bulldoze into the Bronca, raise all that dirt up, and then it'll be much better in a variety of ways. But the gatehouse could go right here by the colored gate. Then we control this whole slope all the way down to the Bronca, and then this is where someone's car would stop, and they would be checked in, or we would see them leaving. We may want really good gate access to that, and a very secure building, because the person may have to leave and then walk over to the colored gate and open it. If we were cool, which is worth it long term, we'd have an electric gate where the guy just pushes a button and opens the gate. That'd be cool too. There's not really great security here, so I haven't thought about it a lot. But then on the other side of the colored gate, down slope to zigzag, you would also want to have a variety of blockades to cross. And really the entirety of the Oak Grove down there, the Bliss Grove. Wait, I call it different things Bliss Grove, did I? No. Can we call it Bliss Grove? Zigzag Grove. Zigzag Grove is more accurate, because it's upper part of zigzag is just all dense oak trees. That whole area is super useful, and we need to have that be secure as well. So we want to plant things around it, plant natural fences, plant hedgerows, and consider what our options are. What are we doing? Looking around at the colored gate, I guess. There's a toilet right here. People may need to use a toilet. They may need to use it quickly when they arrive. People are like that. They suddenly have a need to go to the toilet. That's fine. It's a shitty world. Off of here, above the Oak Grove, I believe it is worth it to make a gate building on the other side. And that it emphasizes the level of block that there is from one space to another. And also allows us to have facilities like bathroom, pea garden, so pee poo, hand washing would be okay, but that's pretty fancy. I guess we should have that with any toilet. So hand washing. I mean, it's really tempting to dig that way out, actually, that whole area, including this road. I mean, this road can, it's optional where it needs to be. And so I am tempted in this gatehouse here because, spaces are so valuable. And I think sometimes we put the simple thing in the space that later becomes more important. But if we set aside at least a space for different types of things, I think we benefit a lot. So I think digging this whole thing out with a bulldozer, dumping the, the dirt over that way to make more flat spots that then slope down rapidly on the other side of the gate. And then we can always build a building below that too that goes up to that level. But basically making space out there, because it's a very tight area and it's a big transit thing, So digging that out, we could actually put a fairly good sized building right here. It wouldn't block any view because the view is already blocked by oak trees and shit. That's a really bright idea. And this road here has always been questionable. Where does it go? Why is it there? Obviously it gets used. I use it to turn around because one problem I have with my current traffic flow design is that there's not a very good place to turn around. That, of course, could all change. So I'm talking about like from, down there, all the way over there, all the way over there, all the way over here, all the way over to this side of this tree. Far enough away from it so it doesn't bother us. We could cut down the branches on this side, maybe even cut down the whole trunk that's on this side. The other ones are leaning that way, this one's leaning this way. We'll get rid of the one of the three that is leaning towards the building. Also, if we ever did build down there, we get rid of that pine tree that's leaning on that. Like, I slowly learned that you should cut down the fucking trees that are going to later on attack your building. Anyway, just dig all this back in and and then build as we can. But plan for, like a 3-story building, a good-sized building. This is an otherwise not useful spot, but it's still pretty oddly central. Yeah. And so for certain functions, it would be ideal, like, for example, being a gatehouse. It could also be built up really pretty tall with a rock wall, and maybe even a patio up slope from it so that we can see how moist it is in there. So we actually don't have it dug into the ground because we're worried about all the moisture coming off the mesa headed this way towards that wall. And I don't want to make like a musty building. I want it to be dry. So having an uphill passageway at least that we could then later dig into, like at least a meter or 2 meters. I want 2 meters of empty space on the uphill side, and that is in case I need to control water flow, and also it could be a really nice spot to sit. I don't know, but I think 2 meters is even too low. I think it should be planned as a really nice spot to sit. We get latter day sun, not earlier day sun. Anyway, I'm not going to design the whole damn building right now. It could be a very, very neat building, though. I love it.